All right, so this first one is in our slope-intercept form. We love that. Makes it so easy. Because then we just put our y-intercept at our -5. We can go up with a slope of 2. We connect it with a dotted line. And our line looks something like that. To figure out where we shade, we pick a point, any point, not on the line. I'm going to use 0, 0 because it is in fact not on my line. We love that. And we substitute that into our inequality. We want to know if 0 is in fact greater than 2 times 0 minus 5. 2 times 0 is 0, minus 5 is -5. Is 0 in fact greater than -5? Yes. So are we shading above or below? Above, because this point is above. So we're shading everybody above. So it looks something like this. Our other equation, you can do it with our xy intercepts, or we can solve this into slope-intercept form to get 2y is less than or equal to 6x plus 8, so that y is less than or equal to 3x plus 4. So that gives us a line up here that we connect with a solid line, something like that. And again, we can test 0, 0 on this one because it is still not on my line. It's not on my pink line here. So we're going to test 0, 0. We want to know if 0 is indeed less than or equal to 3 times 0 plus 4. 3 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. Is 0 less than 4? Yeah. So is this point in our solution? Yeah. So are we shading above or below? Yeah. Below. There we go. So we're shading this side. And our solutions all live in this kind of purple area. So tell me a point that is a solution to the system. 1, 2, right there. Absolutely is a solution. Tell me another one. 0, 0. Absolutely a solution to the system. Tell me a point that is not a solution to the system. 7, 8. 7, 4. -7, 0. Those are all not points. What about, let's see, 4, 3. Is this a solution to the system? No. Why not? Because it's on a dotted line. Dotted lines don't count. What about this one, 0, 4? Yes. Yes, because it's in the double shaded and on a solid line. Okay, so we got to be really, really careful when we are identifying solutions, but I wanted us to practice that again. Okie dokie. So our last concept that we are going to work through in this chapter is called a 3-variable system. Solving a system in 3 variables. We are going to be using our substitution a little bit. We're going to be using our elimination mostly. So, a system in 3 variables, they look really, really scary. I promise we'll be okay. What we're going to be doing is it's going to give us 3 equations when we do this. So we are going to eliminate one variable in 2 different pairs of equation. And we have to use the same variable each time, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So we're going to be using eliminations to get at least one of our variables to leave us the heck alone, because holy cow, is it too many variables. When we are writing our solutions for like a normal system of equations, we'd write them as an ordered pair. That's when we would have our x, comma, y. Well, when we have 3 variables, we're not just going to have x and y. We're going to have x, y, and usually z. What we do is we put them in what's called an ordered triple, and it's alphabetical order. X, then y, then z. Same thing's true if they use any other letters. If it's A, B, and C, you put them in A, B, C, alphabetical order. If it is F, G, H, put them in F, G, H order because it's alphabetical order. Okay, so they just list themselves in alphabetical order. And I'm going to put our first one up there, and it's going to look a little scary, and it's going to look like a whole lot of stuff. But we will walk through it. Okay? I can put it back. Just go fast. Okay. I'm going to make it so we have, there we go. So 4x plus y plus 6z equals 12. 2x minus 10y minus 2z equals 12. And 3x plus 8y minus 19z equals 38. Plus 19z. I had the sign wrong, so there's a funky looking plus in there. So 4x plus y plus 6z equals 12. 2x minus 10y minus 2z equals 12. And 3x plus 8y plus 19z equals 38. What I'm going to do is, because right now it's really obnoxious to try and talk about them without having to read out the whole dang equation, is I'm going to give them names, and I'm just deciding to do so. I'm going to call this guy A. I'm going to call this one B. I'm going to call this one C. Just so that we can talk about them without having to say the one with the 4x, the one with the 2x. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through and see, is there a variable in here that's going to be not awful to make eliminate out, usually with multiplying. Well, all of my x's have coefficients. Doable, but not pleasant. All of my z's have coefficients. Again, doable, not pleasant. I have a y. I have a y that doesn't have a number, which means that is one y, which means way easier to multiply stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pair up A and B and A and C, and I'm going to rewrite them so that I can make my y's eliminate out. So I'm going to, over here, write B, which is my 2x minus 10y, oh, so I can actually see the whole thing, minus 2z equals 12. With my A, What do I need to multiply it by to get my y's to cancel out? What do I need to multiply this top one by? By 10. Because if I make this 10y, my y's will cancel out. So I'm going to take a times 10. So a times 10, 4x times 10 gives me 40x. Y times 10 gives me plus 10y. 2 minus 2z gives me minus 20z. Equals 120. I 100% just crisscrossed my 2, not my z. Sorry, fixing this. That's a 2. Looked like a z and I got confused. The reason we do that is so I can come through here and just like we did last week, add these together in our columns. And that'll force the y's to cancel out. When we add these together in our columns, we get 2x plus 40x, giving us 42x, minus 10y plus 10y, gives me the 0y. Yes, sir. I took the whole, that would be because I was smushed together my equations. That is wrong. Because that should be this guy times 10. That should be 60z.
That's what I was looking at.
Yep. Yeah, no, call me out 100%. I can crisscross these. It happens. Thank you, sir. Yeah, no, 100%. That should be a 60z. Thank you. We definitely want to make sure we do that right. So we got our minus 10y plus 10y. Those cancel out. Minus 2z plus negative 60z. There we go. No, positive 60z. Gosh, I am all over the place today. There we go. Plus 58z equals 132. So we're adding them together in columns. And this is one of those times when you absolutely have to write things down, because even with writing things down, it's very easy to get things crisscrossed. So that kind of equation looks significantly more familiar. So then what we're going to do is I've used A and B. I need to do something with C to relate it to these guys. So we need to eliminate out the y variable using C and one of the other equations. So if we have 3x plus 8y plus 19z equals 38. And I need to get the y's to eliminate out. Which one should I use, A or B?
A.
A. What do we need to multiply A by to get the y's to cancel out?
8.
Negative 8. So we're going to take A times negative 8. So we're going to have negative 8 times the 4, giving us negative 32x. Negative 8 times y, giving us minus 8y. And negative 8 times 6, giving us minus 48z equals 8 times 12, which is negative 96. And we are going to use calculators because calculators are our very bestest friends, and we do not have to do these in our head. Because now we are going to do our columns on this pairing. So we have our 3x plus negative 32x gives us negative 29x. 8y minus 8y, those cancel out, and that's generally the point. Then we have minus 29z equals negative 58. And in general, it's better? Question mark? Because what we're going to do now is we're going to take those two leftovers, my 42x plus 58z equals 132, and my negative 29x minus 29z equals negative 58. And now we treat it just like we did everything last week. Solve this system. You could just multiply by the coefficients of the other equation because it's really hard to spot something that's nice in here. We could multiply the top one by 29 and the bottom one by 42, or the top one by 29 and the bottom one by 58. You're going to get really, really big numbers. Or we could notice that 29 times 2 is 58, and all we got to do is multiply this bottom one times 2, and we'll be ready to eliminate. 42x plus 58z equals 132, and negative 58x minus 58z equals negative 116 if we times them by 2. Because then I can add these together to get that negative 16x, 58z minus 58z, we have 0 z's. Equals 16. So what does x equal? X equals negative 1. Well, now I know what x equals. I can go take it and now plug it back in to find my z. We got to do our elimination 3 times. And then we got to go start plugging it back in places. So I'm going to go grab one of my equations that has 2 variables. I'm going to bring my 42x. But this time I know my x is negative 1. Plus 58z equals 132. So that gives me negative 42 plus 58z equals 132. And we add 42 to both sides to get that 58z equals 174. And we're going to use our calculator to find out that z equals what? 3. Well, now I know x, and now I know z. Let's go find y. And I'm going to go grab my OG equation, one of my originals. I'm going to use A, where we have 4 times our x of minus 1 plus y, which is the one we don't know yet, plus 6 times our z, which is 3, is all going to equal 12. To get negative 4 plus y plus 18 equals 12. So y plus 14 equals 12. And what does y equal? negative 2. So our solution for this 3-variable system is negative 1, comma, negative 2, comma, 3. They are very long, and we understand that they are very long. Okay? We understand that these are very long. What's up? It's entirely probable. I'm not gonna tell you for showsies, but it's entirely probable. This is, I was like, they don't get worse than this. Just saying. They don't get worse. Like, we're not gonna kick it up a notch. What's up?
When you set them up, like, do you always set them up to, like, the other one that you know that will make sure the other one cancels out, or do you set them to a certain one?
You always want a variable to cancel out. It doesn't matter which variable cancels out, but we just need a variable to cancel out. You get to pick. There's creative freedom. Whether you cancel out your x's, whether you cancel out your y's, whether you cancel out your z's. It does not matter. You will get the same answer no matter what, which always makes it really fun to grade because there's about 12 different ways through it. Okay? So I know these are a lot. These are a lot. I'm going to do one more today, and then we'll do more tomorrow. All right, you ready for me to change it? So we have 3x minus 18y plus 6z equals 7. 7x minus 2y plus z equals 1. And minus x plus 6y minus 2z equals minus 2. Write it down. All right. So again, I'm gonna name them in a very similar way so that we can talk about them without having to say the one with the 3x. So I just have a tendency to call them A, B, and C. What variable do you want to cancel out? Z's. Let's cancel out the Z's. So that means I'm gonna pair up A and B. What am I going to need to multiply B by in order to make my Z's cancel out? By negative 6. Negative 6. So I'm going to bring it down. So we've got my A. Let's lock this out to full page just so you guys stop having to watch my Zoomy games. 3x minus 18y plus 6z equals 7. Ooh, I'm right onto that C. And then my B times negative 6 gives me negative 21x. Nope.
Yeah. No.
B times negative 6. 7 times 6. 42. I was smushing together the 3 and the 6. Then we have our negative 6 times negative 2, giving us positive 12y minus 6z. This is why I always recommend writing things down Like I have over there, I'm taking b times -6. It made it very much easier for me to spot. Then let's go ahead and add these guys together. So we're going to have our 3x plus -42x, giving us -39. Yeah. When in doubt, put in the calculator. Totally fine. Then we have our -18 plus 12, giving us -6y. My z's cancel out, and it all equals 1. Then I used a and b, which means I need to use my c equation. You have to use every equation at least once. Which one am I going to pair up with my c? A or b?
B.
B. What am I going to need to multiply b by in order for that to cancel out?
-2.
-2.
Just
Regular
regular 2.
2. Yeah. So I'm going to write my c down. 7x minus 2y plus z equals 1. That's not c.
Yeah, it's B.
Minus x plus 6y minus 2z equals -2. There we go. Now I'm writing things down correctly. Woohoo! So we're going to take my b times 2. Now I'm getting my 14x. Minus 4y plus 2z equals 2. There we go. Like I said, there's about 8 ways to go through this, and y'all picked a different way than my last period. So I'll get to do it lots of different ways. And we're going to add those together. So I've got my -1x plus 14x giving me 13x. 6y minus 4y giving me plus 2y. My z's cancel out, and it equals 0. We okay on those parts? The setting up of the equations and multiplying together is the part that takes the longest to not scramble up. Then we're going to look at our two equations here. What are we going to need to multiply by to get one of these variables to cancel out? 3. We're going to multiply this guy by 3 to make my y's cancel out. So I'm just going to bring this guy over. So we get minus 39x minus 6y equals 1. We have a +2 and a -6, so we just need a +3. So I'm going to take this guy up here times 3, put it right there. So 13 times 3 gives us +39x plus 6y equals 0. And y'all about to get real mad at me. When we add these together, what happens? The x's and the y's cancel out. We get 0x plus 0y equals 1. What does that mean? So no x's and no y's. We're left with nothing on the left side. 0 equals 1. What does that mean? No solution. If you ever wind up with all of your variables canceling out, it can be no solution. If you get all your variables cancel out and you get something false, like 0 equals 1, no solution. If all your variables cancel out and you get something true, you can still get the infinitely many solutions. So those can still happen. These are long, and I know that, and I get that, and I'm sorry. Last homework of the chapter. Okay, we're going to do more of these tomorrow. These are very long, and I get that, and I understand that, and I'm sorry, but the state of Indiana says we don't know how to do it. Okay. It is in the standards. I always check every year to make sure they didn't cut them, so they don't. So they're long, and I understand that, and I'm very, very sorry, but it's one of those things. It just takes practice. Once you get the hang of it, it's not the worst thing ever. I promise. We'll do things that are worse. So it's not the worst. But it is gross, and they are long, and they're obnoxious, and I'm sorry. But it is what it is. But like I said, they don't get worse. It's just the same stuff. Tomorrow we'll do a couple more of them to practice it, and then we should have time to work on homeworks and stuff.
6 of them.
There's 6 of them on here.
Where do we get our study guide for today?
I'll give them to you tomorrow. These two.
This is due.
So today's Monday, so Wednesday, air quotes. Air quotes. If it takes us an extra day, I totally get that. These are long and obnoxious and gross. Also, I am not organized enough to do late penalties on anything.